Alright, well, it really doesn't matter who you are. If you're into collecting, if you're into collecting specifically toys, whether it's Toy Story or some other type of toy, there's going to be people who think that you are immature for choosing to enjoy that particular hobby. And what I'm going to endeavor to do in this video is to explain why that's definitely not the case. And it's an outlook that a lot of people have in our society, sadly, that I think just needs to be kind of enlightened a little bit. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do here to the best of my ability. So you'll have people who will think that you're childish or immature or any number of different things if you collect any type of toy. But also if you collect Toy Story stuff. This will occur, unfortunately. And in my opinion on that would be that that Toy Story in general was the first full-length computer animated film. The first one. Right? So that adds an air of collectability to it. Not only was it the first film, but it was a fantastic film. You could even call it a masterpiece of a film. And it really identifies both with kids as well as adults. It doesn't matter your age range, which is what they were aiming for when they made the movie. Part of why it's more marketed to kids is because it's about toys. Another reason is because during the first computer animated movie, they thought that because it was a new thing, a computer animated movie, that marketing something toward a younger generation, as they do with lots of things that are new, would work well and have better results than if they tried to make a mature, super mature, R-rated animated movie, which, you know, movies can be great whether they're rated G or R. So it doesn't matter. So there's nothing wrong with that, of course. And now you have also like Disney Plus. There's tons of adults subscribe to that and really enjoy watching that. There's tons of adults that love Disney. I mean, there's lots of adults that would love to go to Disney World or Disneyland, and they enjoy it. And lots of them think that to go there and to enjoy it, they would have to have a kid to go, even though they might want to go themselves because of just societal pressures on them that, you know, shouldn't really be a big deal. I mean, taking fun away from people, even as they're an adult, isn't worth much, in my opinion. I think you should be able to enjoy things that you enjoy, especially if you're not hurting anybody or anything like that, not breaking the law. You know, that's my opinion on it. Also, you have to take into account, too, that regarding Toy Story, Toy Story was completely designed, you know, and everything, made, animated, scripted, acted, everything by who did all that? Was it kids that did that, or was it adults? It was adults who did all of that, and they had fun when they did it too, you know, and they made money doing it too. The toys were designed and sold and marketed by adults also. And in doing anything, having enthusiasm for it will lead to success. You wouldn't have success with things if you weren't enthusiastic about it. So that means that they had fun and enjoyed what they were doing, too. Lots of animators in general will have toy collections. It's just part of being an animator. Also in collecting, you're also making an investment. I mean, you have stuff out like the Metacom Buzz and the Metacom Woody, for instance, that cost, you know, hundreds of dollars. You know, Metacom Buzz upwards of $700, Woody, you know, around $500. You know, those aren't toys that you would buy for your kid to throw around the room, right? Those are adult collectibles made to be an investment. You have also, talking about other toys other than just Toy Story stuff, you also have things like Hot Toys, which are also hundreds of dollars, and they're collectible investments for adults to make. And adults buy them, and they pose, and they're like action figures. They're like toys for adults. So there's a social stigma around it for a lot of people, unfortunately. And that's very sad, because it's if it brings you joy and happiness and something that you have fun with, I don't think that people should be judgmental of you for it, especially if it's not hurting anybody, or anything like that. It's kind of a innocent thing to do, or hobby to have. There's also plenty of people who make money doing reviews of toys online. So with the advent of YouTube, you can make some money anyway, reviewing all kinds of different things. Toys being one of them that people like to see reviewed before they buy it, And the questions are taken out of the equation before they make a purchase on something, especially if you're going to buy something like in the Medicom price range. You're going to drop $700 on something. You probably want to know what you're going to get and know well and see it and everything like that before you buy it. At least I would. So there's a market in there for you to also make money off of it. So people acting like it's immature and stuff, that you're sitting around playing with toys, and the question would be like, well, just because I like to collect toys and stuff, what do you think I should be doing instead of this? And lots of times they'll say, well, you should be like working and making money and this and that, and it's like, okay, well, you can also make money with this, and they act like they can't comprehend that there's a way to make any money by collecting toys. But they also don't know about the markets of the expensive collectibles that are out there, and the price stuff like Hot Toys again goes for, Medicom, and different higher marked. Even the Signature Collection now, the prices of those are going up high. Most of the people that are buying those again are going to be adults. There's probably some parents that bought those for their kids, especially when they first came out, but it doesn't matter either whether you're buying something like that that's higher priced as an adult. The price tag shouldn't matter, because lots of these things can also become collectible as time goes on. So just like lots of people would collect toys from their childhood. If you've ever watched the show American Pickers or anything like that, you'll come up on episodes of people who have huge collections of old like tin toy type things. Funny I said tin toy, because tin toy is a relation tin toy to Toy Story. But they'll have huge collections of old like tin type toys and metal type toys or whatever, little old robotic type toys, just different toys, wind up toys, this and that, the other. They'll have large collections of that stuff, and it's all stuff from their childhood. If they ask them, why do you collect this, they'll say, oh, it reminds me of my childhood and makes me happy and I enjoy it. And so just like that, that's accepted. Most people will accept that and not really give two thoughts about that, because this stuff is so old that they just don't. But in our day and age, in our time, as we get older, what do we have from our childhood that we can collect and stuff to bring us those same kinds of feelings? And that would be stuff like toys from Toy Story or stuff, or even like if you were into like card games, like stuff from Magic the Gathering or whatever, or Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to like Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, different cartoons. Some people collect stuff from The Simpsons. That's a lot of people look at that as being more adult, but it's a cartoon still. So, I mean, technically it's the same type of thing. It's just there's not a stigma around it as it only being for kids, because it had more mature themes in it. But I mean, really, where do you draw the line there? Do you think that you should only be able to collect for something that you enjoy if it's like got drugs and violence and all kinds of stuff like that, R-rated type of stuff in it, what people would call mature stuff? It's just like, there's enough bad stuff going on in the world. I'd prefer to, collect and kind of be into something that's more positive. It has more positive outlook and feel to it. It's brighter, kind of more uplifting than some of those other things can be, in my opinion. But it's the same idea. So it's just in a different form factor, and people just seem to be judgmental of it, not knowing that of all the possibilities with it. as well as just why somebody would do that. Um, Also, you're preserving this stuff too by collecting it. You're keeping it in as good a condition as you can, usually if you're a collector of anything, which will preserve it for later generations too. So, like if they decide not to make any more Toy Story type toys, and by preserving them, you could save them for future generations to enjoy, or even you could be for your own kids someday. You could have them to enjoy if they happen to like the movie. And it could also be something that they remember and keep with them, throughout their whole life. Could be almost like a hand-me-down type of a thing too, which is also shown in Toy Story, as Woody is a hand-me-down toy from Andy's father, if you didn't know that. Woody, the lineage or history or whatever you want to call it of Woody is that he was Andy's dad's toy. And Andy's dad is supposed to have passed away, and he left Woody to his son as a remembrance of him. So in that scenario, if somebody was collecting and had some things that were linked to that, would you call them immature for keeping them around because they reminded them of their parents? Or of their family, or of a loved one in general? Would that then be immature? So I just think, I don't know, it's a kind of a social stigma that's not rooted in anything positive. It's just rooted in stuff that's negative. I mean, when is having fun and enjoying stuff and having something that brings you happiness and reminds you of your childhood and makes your inner child in a way happy, while also being something that you can collect as an investment as an adult, or use to even as a business as an adult to make money, or endeavor to make at least a little bit of money here and there on it by investing or reviewing or whatever. When is that a negative thing that should be treated with hate? Just doesn't make sense to me, I guess, that people do that. So it's almost like they want you to force you into some kind of miserable existence where you never enjoy anything. So, but as far as collecting too, you can link it to video games. There's some video games that people would think video games are childish too, and there's a lot more of that now before than there is. That's kind of dying away, which is good, I think. But people used to think that those were childish too, which is funny because the people that would say that would have absolutely no chance of ever even being able to, start to code a game or anything. Same thing with, animated movies. Somebody wouldn't be able to even begin to code or start anything. And somebody who could do that wouldn't judge you for collecting things related to it either, because they would like it too. And you could argue that their, intellect is much higher than the people who are hating on it, right? I mean, you have to be pretty smart to do that stuff. But there's video games that are, and people collect, and they're worth thousands of dollars for one game. Would be having that around as an investment be childish, And most adults would say, no, it's worth that much, right? Well, it wasn't worth that much all the time, It took a while before it had that worth. But you shouldn't, also, I don't think you should collect something just because of worth. I think you should also, if you're into collecting, collect something because you like it. Like I said, it makes you happy. If it's something that in doing it, it eases your stress in your life and makes you feel happiness, and enjoyment. I don't think you should be obsessed about it. Like, I don't think you should hold it as higher importance than, things that are super, really important in life, like family and loved ones and things like that, because they're material objects, and none of us are going to be here forever, and we can't take any of it with us when we go. But however, I also don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying and having fun with something like that brings you that kind of happiness while you're alive, and that could be for any age range. It doesn't matter, So there's different things that people find comforting, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, you know. It's just my opinion, though. Also, you can't ignore what, with Toy Story in particular, what was done with that film being the first full-length computer animated film. They really broke barriers with that film, and its fame is enormous, and that spans across all ages. So, and it reaches all ages too, the script and everything. So if you can't find something in Toy Story that you identify with as an adult, or something that doesn't put you in the feels watching it, you know, as an adult, then you're have no soul. I don't think, you know. I mean, it's just, you know, how can you not feel something when you watch those movies? So, and you know, wanting to have those things around because of those feelings that we felt all throughout our lives and remember as a child or whatever, is part of the reason why, at least why I collect this stuff. And yeah, so, you know, and I enjoy it, and I have fun with it, and life's short, and I think that you should enjoy things that you love while you're here. And it's really, really sad that people feel the need to rain on people's parades and try and ruin their days, try to ruin the things that they enjoy, because there's some kind of deep-seated anger or hatred, lots of times I think, toward them, their own self, that they feel that they need to put onto somebody else and ruin somebody else's day so they feel just as bad as they do. And that's sad. So part of what I want to do with my channel is hopefully kind of eliminate that kind of a stigma that adults shouldn't enjoy collecting things like this, because there's no difference between doing this, collecting toys from my childhood, as what my age group is, as there is for somebody who would be on American Pickers, who would have been older, a senior who would have collected toys from their childhood, being tin toys and different things like that, or you know, little wind-up toys or whatever. There's no difference between the two. They're doing it for the same reason. The only difference is the link that they had. There wasn't any animated movie back then, because there wasn't animated movies that had those toys in it, you know. If there had been, you know, maybe it would seem more normal. But I guess enough time hasn't passed yet. I'm not sure what it is. I just think it's sad. I think all age groups should be able to enjoy collecting something like this. So, but yeah, I just was thinking about that. So I also think that it's far more immature to judge somebody for enjoying collecting some sort of a toy than almost anything else. Judgment in general of people for things that don't hurt anybody else and everything like that, just being rude and mean and hateful toward people, which seems to be getting running rampant nowadays, which is sad, very sad. That's the most immature thing I think you can do. So, but anyway, enjoy collecting whatever you collect, whether it's different toys, whether it's Toy Story, whether it's whatever, whether you collect rocks, I don't, you know, whatever it is, enjoy it and have fun, and subscribe and hit that bell icon, hit the like button. Be uploading more review videos and stuff as time goes on, God willing. And thank you to all my subscribers. Appreciate it. All right, I will see you in the next video.